A week before Christmas, I hid the express box in the deepest corner of my wardrobe. When I opened it, my fingertips trembled with secret excitement. The $29 gold-plated bracelet I'd bought online lay on the foam pad, its bright golden luster dazzling under the light. Although the carvings weren't exactly exquisite, from a distance, it was almost indistinguishable from the real gold bracelets in Boise Mall that cost thousands of dollars. I put the bracelet on in front of the mirror and twisted my wrist twice. The cold touch spread along my skin. At 56, I never owned a decent piece of jewelry. When I was young, I was busy taking care of the family, later, saving money from my son to buy a house in Boise's suburbs and plan his wedding, still later, helping raise my granddaughter. Life had been fast-forwarded, and in the blink of an eye, I'd reached the age of accepting fate. Watching my old sisters show off their gold bracelets at church gatherings, listening to them talk about Christmas gifts from daughters and wedding anniversary surprises from husbands, I couldn't help but feel envious. Especially at the Thanksgiving family dinner, Aunt Mary's twisted bracelet, Aunt Susan's tennis necklace, even the one on my daughter-in-law's wrist, all were betrothal jewelry I'd bought with my savings from street vending back then. Only me, always in plain cotton shirts with bare wrists. Buying this fake bracelet was just to save face when visiting relatives at Christmas, so I wouldn't have to hang my head in embarrassment anymore. I never expected anyone to take it seriously. But to my surprise, the bracelet I deliberately revealed at dinner caused an uproar. "Mom, is that a gold bracelet on your wrist?" My son Justin put down his knife and fork, staring fixedly at my wrist, his mouth twitching involuntarily. "It can't be real, right? Where did you get the money to buy this?" "I was just picking roasted vegetables for my granddaughter Lily." Hearing this, I smiled mysteriously. "I just bought it at Boise Mall." "Isn't it pretty?" "It cost $2,000. "What? 2,000? Justin's voice shot up sharply, and the chair legs scraped harshly against the floor. He reached out to touch my bracelet, but I dodged instinctively. With a crisp slap, my husband Harlan slammed his dinner plate on the table. The edge of the porcelain plate chipped, and mashed potatoes spilled all over. His brows furrowed into a knot, the wrinkles on his face squeezed together by anger, his eyes dark and gloomy as if they could drip water. "Martha, have you lost your mind? At your age, what's wrong with you buying something so expensive? Look at yourself, do you deserve to wear a gold bracelet?" The fork in my hand froze. My heart felt like it had been stabbed fiercely. After decades of marriage, he'd never been so rude to me, let alone said such hurtful words. Harlan was a retired elementary school teacher in Boise's suburbs. He'd always been gentle and refined in front of others, but only to me, he'd always carried a subtle contempt. "Dad, don't be angry. You'll scare Mom," Justin pretended to persuade him, then turned to me with a smile. "Mom, finish your dinner first. Afterward, I'll go with you to return it. Gold prices are unstable now. When they drop later, we'll buy an even bigger one, okay?" His smile was hypocritical, and I suddenly felt a chill in my heart. So in their eyes, I really didn't deserve a $2,000 gold bracelet. Looking at the mess on the table and the unanimous look in my son and husband's eyes, my throat was too dry to speak. "You don't need to persuade me. I'm not returning this bracelet," I finally said calmly, my voice soft but more determined than ever before. "How dare you?" Harlan stood up abruptly, slamming his palm on the table. "Money doesn't grow on trees. Justin just bought a pickup truck and still has a car loan to pay. Lily's ballet and piano lesson fees also need to be covered. But you, wasting money like this. Do you want to ruin this family? This is my own money." I looked up, staring straight at him. "I earned it by selling homemade jam and pies at Boise Farmers Market. I can spend it however I want. Aunt Mary has a gold bracelet, Aunt Susan has one, your daughter-in-law has one, why can't I?" "Mom, why are you so vain?" Justin frowned, his tone full of impatience. $2,000 is not a small amount. You're just doing this to save face. What others have is theirs. Our family is different from others." I suddenly laughed, so hard that tears almost came out. "Vain? When you graduated from college and wanted a car, saying all your classmates had one, I worked day and night at the store to raise money for you. Why didn't you call yourself vain then? When you needed a down payment for your house in Boise, I gave you all the retirement savings I'd accumulated over half my life. Why didn't you call yourself vain then? Justin was left tongue-tied, his face turning bright red. Seeing this, Harlan pointed his finger at me and cursed, "You're simply unreasonable. Halfway to the grave and still trying to keep up with young people's trends, I think you've lost your mind." That night, Harlan slept on the living room sofa, his back to me, not saying a word. I lay in bed, staring wide-eyed until dawn, replaying the past decades like a movie in my mind. I married Harlan when I was 24. He was an elementary school teacher, and I was a textile worker at Boise Textile Mill. In those days, we were considered well-matched. 2 years after marriage, our son Justin was born. My parents-in-law lived on a rural farm in northern Idaho, and no one could help take care of the child. I had to take unpaid leave to become a full-time housewife. When our son was 3, he had a high fever. It was snowing heavily, rare in Idaho. Harlan had to take a teacher's professional title evaluation the next day, and I couldn't bear to disturb him. I carried our son on my back and stumbled through the snow to Boise Medical Center alone. The road was slippery and difficult to walk on. I fell several times, holding our son tightly in my arms, bruising my knees black and blue. But I didn't dare cry, afraid of scaring him. Finally, when our son started kindergarten, I was about to go back to work at the textile mill when Harlan's mother suddenly became paralyzed. He held my hand, his eyes red. "Martha, I'm at a critical point in my career. Can you endure a few more years to help me take care of my mother? Once I get promoted to senior title, I'll definitely compensate you well." My heart softened. Since I was a child, I'd been taught that husband and wife should share joys and sorrows. To make it easier to take care of my parents-in-law, I took our son and moved to the rural farm in northern Idaho to live with them. During the day, I bathed, massaged, fed, and gave medicine to my mother-in-law. At night, I did hand embroidery by kerosene lamp to supplement the family income, my finger bones aching from exhaustion. Everyone in the village praised me for being filial. When Harlan drove back on weekends and saw his parents well taken care of and our son healthy, he would always say, "Martha, you've worked hard." That one sentence supported me through countless difficult days and nights. When our son entered junior high school, my parents-in-law passed away one after another. I finally returned to Boise to reunite with my husband and son. But Harlan became more and more silent, never saying any intimate words again. He never helped with housework, as if I was born to serve him. After our son entered adolescence, he also became more and more rebellious, always saying hurtful things. Later, the textile mill closed down. I set up a stall at Boise Farmers Market, selling homemade jam, pies, and pickled vegetables, working from dawn to dusk. I earned more money than Harlan's pension. Neighbors advised me to buy a new washing machine. Idaho's winters were too cold, and hand-washing clothes was miserable. But Harlan said, "It's something you can do with your hands. Why waste money on that? You're just lazy." I gritted my teeth and saved for another 2 years, finally buying a washing machine. Watching the clean clothes hanging in the yard, I felt a great sense of peace. But I never dared to buy myself a new piece of clothing, let alone jewelry. I always thought that as long as the family was doing well, my hardships didn't matter. But it wasn't until today that I realized my efforts were worthless in their eyes. They were used to my sacrifices, used to me revolving around them. Once I wanted to live for myself, I became unforgivable. Early the next morning, Harlan slammed the door and left, probably to complain to our son. After I got up, I opened a wardrobe and looked at the rows of old clothes inside, feeling a surge of sadness. I found a navy blue dress at the bottom of the wardrobe, one I'd bought when I first got married. Although the style was outdated, the fabric was still good. I put on a pair of black trousers and the $29 fake bracelet. The woman in the mirror, though with wrinkles at the corners of her eyes, had a newfound firmness in her gaze. I went to Boise Farmers Market and bought a turkey, steak, salmon, and fresh vegetables. In the past, I always tried to save money and bought discounted food. Today, I wanted to treat myself well. When I got home, I put on an apron and cooked slowly, roasted turkey, pan-fried steak, vegetable soup. After 3 hours of busy work, the table was finally filled with food. Just as I was about to pick up my chopsticks, Harlan came back. He glanced at the food on the table without a word, took a takeout meal from his bag, and opened it to eat at the table. I ignored him, filled a bowl of rice for myself, and picked up my knife and fork to eat. The turkey was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, and the steak was juicy. I ate with great enjoyment. It was the first time I'd cooked for myself, not for anyone else. Harlan took a couple of bites of the takeout, probably not liking the taste. He put down the box and looked at me. I didn't look up, continuing to eat. He probably didn't expect me to act like this. After staring for a long time, he got up and went to the sofa to watch TV, leaving the takeout box on the table, waiting for me to clean it up. In the past, I would always take the initiative to clean up after him, but today, I pretended not to see it. After eating, I washed my own bowl and went back to the room. In the evening, my son Justin came with my granddaughter Lily. As soon as he entered the door and saw the takeout box on the table and breadcrumbs on the floor, he frowned. "Mom, why didn't you clean up? Dad is getting old and has high blood pressure. He can't eat takeout. Why did you let him eat that? He bought it himself. Why should I clean it up?" I sat on the sofa, my tone flat. I cooked, but he didn't eat it. He insisted on buying takeout. What can I do? Justin was left speechless. He turned to Harlan. "Dad, really? Mom cooked, why didn't you eat it? Why did you go out to buy food?" Harlan said angrily, "Ask your mother what she did today. She's gone crazy, insisting on keeping that lousy bracelet and going on a hunger strike with me. Mom, it's just a bracelet. Is it worth it?" Justin sat next to me and persuaded me earnestly. "The family is short of money right now. Emily and I still haven't paid off our car loan. Lily is enrolled in 3 interest classes which cost a lot of money every month. It would be better to use this $2,000 for useful things instead of buying a bracelet to save face." "Useful things?" I looked at him, my eyes cold. "In your eyes, what counts as useful? Your car loan is useful, your daughter's interest classes are useful, but when I want to buy something for myself, it's a waste of money." "Mom, that's not what I meant." Justin's tone softened. "I mean, at your age, it's not safe to wear such an expensive bracelet. The security in Boise hasn't been very good lately. What if it gets stolen? Be obedient. I'll go with you to return it tomorrow, okay?" Looking at his "for your own good" expression, I suddenly felt extremely ironic. He had never cared about whether I was happy, only about whether I would cause them trouble. I remembered a few years ago, Harlan had secretly lent my $3,000 in retirement savings to his nephew from his hometown. When I found out and wanted to call the police, he actually hit me. At that time, Justin had persuaded me the same way. "Mom, Dad meant well. We're all family. Don't pursue it anymore, or it will hurt the family harmony." It turned out that in their eyes, I was always the one who could be sacrificed and bullied at will. I didn't do anything wrong. "I'm not returning it." I looked at Justin, word by word. "I'm keeping this bracelet." Justin's face darkened, and his tone became impatient. "Mom, you really want to be like this? Making enemies with the whole family over a bracelet? Have you lost your mind?" "I haven't lost my mind. I'm perfectly clear." I raised my hand and slapped him hard across the face. With a crisp slap, the air fell silent instantly. Justin covered his face, looking at me in disbelief. "Mom, you hit me. This slap is to teach you how to respect your elders." I looked at him, my eyes red. "I worked so hard to raise you, send you to the University of Idaho, buy you a house, a car, and a wife in Boise, not so you could talk to me like this. Don't forget, everything you have was earned with my blood and sweat." My granddaughter Lily was so scared that she burst into tears. Seeing this, Harlan roared, "Martha, you're crazy. You actually hit our son." Crazy. I turned to him and raised my hand, slapping him across the face as well. This slap is payback for you. When you hit me back then, did you ever think about today? Harlan was stunned by the slap, not reacting for a long time. He had been teaching all his life, always gentle and refined in front of others. He had never been hit like this before. You're simply a shrew. Harlan trembled with anger. A shrew. I laughed, tears streaming down my face. I've been a virtuous wife and mother all my life, taking care of you and our son, looking after your parents. What did I get in return? Nothing but your contempt and accusations. From today on, I'm no longer the hard-working and patient Martha. I'm going to live for myself. Justin held the crying Lily in his arms, his face turning blue and white. Mom, you're going too far. Dad is getting old. How could you hit him? When he hit me, why didn't you say he was going too far? I looked at him. Justin, think carefully, have I ever let you down over the years? The $20,000 for your wedding betrothal was earned from my stall, the down payment for your house was saved by me, your daughter has been raised by me since she was born until she went to elementary school. I've done my duty. But what about you? What have you ever done besides taking from me? Justin was left speechless. He held Lily and turned to leave. I'm done with you. You can do whatever you want. Harlan also trembled with anger, turned into the guest room, and slammed the door shut. In the days that followed, we ignored each other. I cooked and ate alone every day, going wherever I wanted, no longer having to revolve around them. Harlan was probably too angry to bear it, eating out every day. But the food outside didn't suit his taste, and he lost weight in a few days. Christmas was approaching. Relatives had all heard about the conflict between me and my family over a gold bracelet, and they all called to persuade me. Aunt Mary said, Martha, couples always argue. Christmas is coming soon. Don't make trouble. It's better for the family to be harmonious. Aunt Susan said, I know you're wronged, but this is the fate of us women. Just endure it. You're already at this age, why get a divorce? But no one asked me if I was happy, or if I was willing to endure it. They all thought I should swallow my anger and sacrifice myself for the family. On Christmas Eve, Harlan rummaged through boxes and cabinets in the room, looking for something. When I approached, I saw that he was rummaging through my drawer, holding my fake bracelet in his hand. What are you doing? I asked coldly. Harlan was startled, and the bracelet in his hand almost fell to the ground. He calmed down and pretended to be composed. I'm looking for the receipt for your bracelet. Christmas is coming soon, and the mall will be closed. If you don't return it now, you won't be able to. There's no receipt. I looked at him, suddenly feeling amused. This bracelet is fake. I bought it on Amazon for $29. There's no receipt at all. Harlan was stunned, his face a kaleidoscope of emotions, surprise, confusion, and a faint, almost imperceptible trace of relief. He probably thought I'd finally come to my senses by not spending those $2,000. Just then, his senior-friendly phone rang, the loud tone unmistakable. A man's voice came through clearly, Brother Harlan, is the $2,000 ready? My son is buying a house in Boise after the new year and needs the money urgently. Harlan glanced at me and quickly replied, it's ready, it's ready. I'll transfer it to you right after Christmas. Good. I knew we could count on you, the man on the line chuckled. If your father hadn't helped our family through that tough patch all those years ago, I wouldn't be where I am today. Now that my son is buying a house, you've got to help us out. Don't worry, we're family. It's the least I can do. Harlan hung up, a smug smile spreading across his face. Everything finally clicked. His obsession with returning the bracelet wasn't about saving money for our household, it was about lending that $2,000 to his relative to repay what he saw as family debt. He never bothered to ask if I was willing, never considered my feelings. In his eyes, my money was his money, to spend as he pleased. My money isn't going to anyone, I stated firmly, looking straight at him. That's my retirement fund. No one touches it. Harlan's smile vanished, his face darkening. Martha, don't be ungrateful. If his father hadn't scraped together $36 for my tuition back then, I never would have gone to college or gotten this job. How can I not help his son buy a house now? Him helping you was a kindness, not an obligation, I retorted coldly. How many times have you helped their family over the years? $5,000 when your nephew got married, $3,000 for your niece's college tuition.